Welcome to episode 1 of Deep Discussions with me. I'm so intrigued about apparently everything. Just one advice for my younger self is hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for coming back. Today we are doing something different. Like, not exactly different, but a little bit different. All of us at times have thoughts or questions which make us rethink every single thing in our life. And I have such questions too. So today I'm going to ask myself some deep questions which I will ask my soul if I ever get a chance to sit with her face to face. There are very high chances that I'll stumble and mumble on my words because I strongly believe that we cannot articulate our feelings exactly. And that is why anytime we have to talk about our feelings, we are like, do you understand me? Because it's like you cannot make the other person feel the way you are feeling. So your feelings are like a different language. I might not make sense in between two. Because the exact point of exploring your mind or asking the deep questions is trying to make sense. Sometimes there are questions when you're like, when you ask the stupid questions, you think you do not make sense. And that's how I feel. Like sometimes when I do not understand things, I think I don't make sense. But then the person who knows, like who have been through what I'm going through, they will understand why I am saying that I don't make sense. Because when you are trying to figure something out, you say 100 different things till you figure it out. So let's jump into the questions that I have gotten myself into today. Some deep questions, and I have my questions written in my diary. I know you'll say she has so many different diaries. I have so much different collection of the diaries, but beside the topic, my questions. Okay, so welcome to episode 1 of Deep Discussions with me. And I would really appreciate for you to comment down some more questions that one can ask themselves to grow, to develop themselves in any area of your life, like professional, career, your. I'm sorry, I just did something and I had to make sure it didn't went on camera. Professional, career, your spiritualism, religion, your family, anything, any question that may make a person go into deep thinking are welcomed on my channel. We can have deep dive into universe, into books, into literature, into poetry, in anything, because I'm so intrigued about apparently everything. So I love talking about anything, everything, anywhere. Anyways, so let's jump into deep conversations with me. So the question one I have is something you think every person should experience in their lifetime. Okay. The question is something that I think every person should experience once in their lifetime. It may sound harsh. It may sound harsh coming from me, or maybe in a way I deliver the sentence, but I think everyone should experience at least once in their lifetime the most devastating heartbreak. I know it's harsh, and I know that many people think, why would you even wish that on anyone? But the the way you will learn things when you have a heartbreak is different, because see, I believe that you can have a terrible heartbreak when you love someone. It could be anyone, your parents, your siblings, your partner, your friends. And when you love someone that much that you trust them, that they will never break your heart, and they end up breaking your heart, you realize the one most important thing, that at the end of the day, it's only you with you. And when you realize that it's only you with yourself, you find out a way to embrace yourself and love yourself, so that if it ever happens again, you've got your own back. I hope it makes sense to you. Because sometimes we actually think that we love the person, and we actually think that we have figured out the kind of person the other person is, But in reality, we just love the idea of that person, because you can never figure out a human being. Never. See, our feelings change every day. There are certain scenarios we act differently. There would be certain situations where I'll act in one way and you might act another way. And there are certain scenarios where we might act the same. It all depends on the experiences or the lessons you have learned in your life, or how much world you have explored, or how much broader your mind is. So when that one person breaks your heart, you actually get to know that no one is always the same. People evolve. People make decisions based on their experiences. People make choices based on their experiences. And when you start studying human nature, you will notice that there will not be a single time that you have understand anyone fully. Because if you today think that you have understand yourself fully, that's totally wrong. Because in 2 years or 2 months, you will learn so much more, or you'll have more lessons to analyze your decisions on. So I think the most important thing everyone should experience in their life is a heartbreak where you cry. You cry so much that you think that every door has closed, and suddenly um, there's a flip of the switch in your mind that it's you, and you start prioritizing yourself. When this happens, when everyone starts taking accountability for their own actions, the world is going to be so much better place. That's what I think. And just wanted to point out, these are just some of my point of views. Whatever I'm saying today would not be the same that I'll say in 5 years, because I'll have so much more experience. Right now, whatever I'm saying is because of the experience I have had till now. But if I add this experience on for like next 5 years, my answers will change. And maybe in 10 years, I will not even agree to a single word I'm saying right now. This is the truth. This is the reality for every one of us, for every single one of us. Okay. I hope the question makes sense. Okay. What's your biggest fear in life? So, I think my biggest fear includes that I also don't want to lead an average life, like the life that the rest of the 95% population does. I want to have like a big life, like an extraordinary life. Like I don't want anything to control me. That's my biggest fear, and that's my motivation too. Because the time I think about, oh, this thing will control me, I just start working very hard. But there's been times when because of this fear, I have put myself into a position where I was really overwhelmed, and I had too much stress on my mind. I was thinking about future too often, that would make me anxious. Then I came to a point of realization that it's my life, it's my present that I have to enjoy. If I start enjoying my present, if I just start doing the work I have to do, I think I'll be way more happier in my future, and I will have nothing to regret about. Because sometimes what happens is you achieve big things. Many successful people, they have achieved so many big things, and but at the end of the day, they regret one thing or another if they have to look back. And I don't want to be one of that person. This is my biggest fear in life. And I also want to include one more thing. I never want to say that there was a time I used to do this, like in a good way. See, I've seen many people, and I learned it from one of my coach, who said that I never put the medals or my certificates on the walls, because at the end of the day, in future, I never want to say that I used to do that and I quit it and I don't want to do it anymore or whatever. I never want to say that I used to exercise before and I do not do it now. I never want to say that I used to speak very well in English and I can't do it now because I'm out of practice. I never want to say that I had that mindset of growth, but I don't have it now. I never want to do that. I always want to like move forward, always. I always want to take lessons into account, lessons into my experience, and just go on, just go on, just go on. And that is my biggest fear in life. But I think this is a good fear. This is not something I should be afraid of. But this is what I can think of when I have to explain my fear. Next. Ah. It's interesting. It's what qualities do you admire most in others? It's very interesting. People always say that a book is judged by its cover, and for the most, I think it is real. Give me a second. For the most, I think it's real too, because many people, like average 99% people, will judge you based on your looks. The way you look, the way you appear, what's your personality, do you exercise, are you fit, are you thin, are you not, or what, right? And when someone asks what qualities I admire in people, number one, if we have to look at it in look ways, that will always be last in my wordings. Yes, looks matter. In what way? That I'll tell you later. But number one, to me, I really admire the quality when people really engages into deep conversations and they actually try to understand what the other person thinks. See, here I'm talking about like the person who's growth oriented. A person who's growth oriented, they will always have their point of view and they will always be open to listen if someone has some different point of view that is really contradicting their views. They're just open to listening it. They're not debating it. They're not offensive of listening everything. They're just open. They think about it. And sometimes they agree that the other person is right too. This is one of the quality I really, really admire. Second, I really admire when people respect themselves and they do not try to get the validation from their peers. Because you are your actual person. And when you see the other person respecting themselves more, not in like the egoistic ways, not in like having this superiority complex, no, that is a big, big, big no for me. If I feel like someone has a superiority complex and they just say, oh, I know everything, I am just like, bro, I don't even want to talk to you. That's a big red flag for me. Well, I'm wearing red, and I'm not a red flag. I'm the green flag someone can have. Okay, so the people with the mindset. The other thing that I said, the quality that I admire in the looks is, when someone work out, it's not about their appearance. People who do not work out, they think that people work out to look good. Probably, maybe the starting happens when people think they want to look good. Maybe that's how you start. But once you are into the fitness thing, once you are doing that thing regularly at the same assigned time and you do not feel good till you move your body, then you realize it's not just about looking good. It's very much about your mental health. It's very much about developing the self discipline, developing the consistency, practicing the delayed gratification, or it's it's way more than that. So if a person exercises, even if they look, it's impossible for a person who exercises to not look fit, honestly. But even if someone thinks they are not fit but they tell you they exercise every single day, I would really, really admire the quality, because it's really difficult to be self-disciplined, to have that consistency, to enjoy the delayed gratification, and to have that self-control. So I think these are some qualities that I really admire in people and myself. I admire myself every day, but I do admire some of the qualities, some of the same qualities in myself. That doesn't mean that I'm just looking for myself in other people. No, that just means that I know these qualities are good. If you could know absolute truth about one question, what would it be? It's so cool because I think I would want to know, like, I know God is not a person. We cannot describe God in like through gender or through the appearance. God is energy, right? But if I wanted to know the absolute truth of one thing, I really, really would want to speak to God. I don't know his tongue. I know he speaks in energies and you know the energies, but doesn't matter how much you try, till you have achieved that spiritual level to actually understand the energies, you cannot say that you do not understand or you understand God. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him about how does he decide who's his favorite. Like, I know I'm God's favorite, but how does he even decide who's favorite, and how does he decide what kind of lessons to throw at people, and how does he decide that this is going to happen? Why did he even made earth? Why did he made humans? What was the need to? Oh my god, it's actually crazy. It's all gonna be related to spiritualism. Every single thing I'd want to know, well, it's asked only one thing, but every single thing I'll want to know ever will be related to spiritualism, because I'm so intrigued about the energies, God, praying, the faith, universe. Can't explain my mind to you. So I think this will be something that I'll really, really, really want to know. Because the ultimate purpose, like my religion tells, the ultimate purpose of being a human being is praying to God, the creator. I might not do justice while explaining it, because I'm really into my religion. I don't really know much about my religion, if it makes sense. Like, my parents always try to teach me everything, but till you put your step into it and you try to understand everything, you will never be able to explain it to the other person. Very interesting. Is there a decision you have made that you wish you could undo, and why? Straightforward, never. Never I ever had a feeling that I want to undo any of my decisions, and never in my life will I do, like, or undo any of my decisions, because I feel like every single thing, every bad heartbreak happened happened because it wanted to teach me some lessons. And I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be the woman with this mindset talking to you in front of a camera, this comfortable, or having a conversation like this, if I didn't go through the things because of my bad decisions. So it was not bad decisions, it was just some lessons that I wanted or I needed to get. What's something you believe in so strongly that no one could convince you otherwise? No one will ever be able to convince me that someone truly loves you. It sounds heartbreaking, but it's I mean, I believe in love. I have people who truly, truly love me. But at the end of the day, there will always be something that the other person will put forward. Like, there will be some day when you'll question your love. There will be some day when you'll be like, you'll realize that you were just in love with the idea of the person. Because, see, if I love someone and someone loves me, we both are so indulged in each other that any small thing we do that might go wrong will hurt, right? And the other person will question eventually. And of course, they will question that how this happened, because you are so attached to the other person that even if they make mistake, it'll hurt you. But they're just like, every single one of us are just trying to get through life, trying to learn different things. So it's I can't actually clearly give you the answer, but this is what I think today. For today's experience, I think this is something that I believe that no one will able to convince me otherwise. And I think that every single person here is just fulfilling their purpose. And we have this saying that you are born alone and you'll die alone. So you have to learn to live alone, but not as in live alone. You need love. I strongly believe in family. I want to have family one day, and I hope I can have kids one day. But I'm also aware of the fact that somewhere, someplace, detachment plays a huge role in your happiness. The most difficult truth you've had to accept? I think, like, nothing till now. It was not difficult. Whatever I had to expect, accept. It was not too difficult because of the lessons I've had, because of the strong mindset I have. So it's all like, I get the reasonings why it happened. I get the reasonings that this was the reason it happened. So I'm fine. Like, advice for my younger self. Just one advice for my younger self is everything is figure outable. Every single thing in life that happens is figure outable. Today I might think that, oh, I might die, or all the doors have closed and I don't see a way out, or I'm gonna be broke, or I'm gonna be homeless, or I don't have a job. No, every single thing in this life is figure outable. See, God made you, He created you, He sent you to this earth. Okay, if He made you and created you, He will take care of you. Don't worry about that. You just have to have faith in God, and you just start doing your karma. You do your work, and everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be figured out. What a huge conversation, man. It put me into, like, this conversation has put me into some different mood. I can't even explain it. Like, I just want to sit down and stare at the blank wall in front of me, if you have ever got that feeling. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I hope you learned something, and I want you to ask these questions to yourselves, and I also want you to answer to yourself about advice that you will give your younger self as per your personal experiences. Thank you for watching. I will come back with another video, and I think most of the videos will be in this style for a bit because I'm loving it. And please comment down if there's any deep questions that I can sit, stare at the ceiling, and answer to myself.